we'll talk a little bit about this some other controversies, and then we'll talk about some cool stuff. Hope everybody's Sunday's going well. Nice here in balmy and in Central Florida. We had finally had some rain. It's been as Florida hasn't been raining much, and I decided to put all that rain at once. So that was good. If you saw the story that I had up in there, or the post that I put on this one is a story on Quantified Performance. Go follow Quantified Performance. Yesterday we're at the range, and it rained like a cow peeing on flat rock. Let me tell you, it was shitty rain. I went and did targets, stood them up, did some pictures of targets, started walking back, saw a big old fat rain coming in, hauled ass under the cover, and the rain just hit. Like it was like floating my my Pelican case. So it was good. Luckily, we got Manus. I'll get into that in a minute. What's up, Linda? It's just my fundamentals. Damn F word. It's the fundamentals. But hey, let's talk about this little blaster right here. We got some people up. We should be starting to have fun. This is a Knights Armament SR16 upper, 3.1. It used to be used by some cool guys, and some of you guys have been following Knights. You guys know that those become available for sale every once in a while. There might be more coming out. More specifically, what I want to talk about is this little guy right here. If you have one of the 3-1 rails, Jag Consulting is starting to crank this out. This happened to be serial number 1. It was the first one that came off a new machine. This thing is awesome. Nice and solid. Got a little hook right here. I put it on the barricade. If you guys look, there's a barricade that stays up somewhere out there. Anyway, I got a barricade that stays up out in the backyard. Put on the barricade. It has a nice hook to it. So hit up Jag Consulting. If you have 3-1 rails, he might be making some stuff later. That was just one of his products, and he got it to me. So that thing is really cool. Kind of has that feel of like an AFG type feel if you're into that. So when you're doing this style of grip, you notice I got Knights Armament, a little thumb pad up here. Got this here, got a little grip, and I got the Manus on there. So since we're on the Manus, might as well. It is Bowflex. Might as well talk about the Manus a little bit. Yesterday when it was raining, targets had fallen down, but there's a bunch of stuff on the back berm that we could shoot. So fired up the Manus and started getting Manus scores. In that, got a nice 100. And if you're familiar with the Manus, or if you use the Manus at all, you'll understand that a 100 on the Manus, especially live, is a rare opportunity. So that was pretty cool. Manus gives you some nice scoring in the background, and if you combine that with your targets, you shoot that group and you got 4 rounds that are clustered, and you got one down here and you don't remember which one that was. When you go into the Manus, you'll be able to see how those went in. Jag Consulting. Josh is his name, so appreciate you, Josh, and if everybody could go give him a follow, that'd be awesome sauce. Got Gearhead Works up on here. If you guys haven't used this thing is awesome. On the Loft folder, it'll actually go longer than I prefer my stocks. So this thing will go, and it's got some pretty bold adjustments on it, but I mean this thing is solid. So check out those guys. And the other good thing is, with the Knights end plate and the Forward Control Designs castle nut, you can still collapse it all the way if you need to. So it's cool. It's very close, and I give Gearhead Works credit. It's very close to my favorite stock, which is the old Car 15 stock. That is my favorite. I've had all the Magpul stuffs, and I've had all these things, but my favorite one is that little tiny old Car 15 stock. Let's see here. So Manus wise, Manus has the new, I think they're calling it the X10. The new Manus is coming out. Still have my code with them. That code is Hess just HESS, and that will get you 10% off if you use the website. What I get from that is they log how many Manuses that we've used, or people have used the code on, and then they say good job. Not getting any money from Manus for that, not getting any consulting money, any of that sort of stuff. So get you a Manus, you can do a lot of good scoring on it, and all your dry fire can be scored, and you can see if your dry fire is matching your live fire. One of the things I noticed on pistols, I'll shoot 95s, 96s with the Glock on dry, and then when I put bullets in the gun, I'll drop about 20 to 30 points. And that's all up here. It's not here, it's not the gun, it's nothing I can do, it's all up in here. So being able to do that, having that score, then you can kind of focus on, you put the Manus on the gun and you just pretend you're doing dry fire, and you're trying to get good scores on the Manus, and miraculously downrange prints very well. So Manus is a really good tool. And that kind of leads me into a little bit on, I know I've been beating up Quantified Performance, but the Quantified Performance, what we're doing, if you haven't caught any of that, what we're trying to do is all the shooting that you're doing, like matches, Manus X work, putting pictures up with your Ballistic X app or your Range Buddy or whatever it is. If you're doing content like that, that is exactly what the group is for. I know it's expensive, a whole $1 a month if you're using the Patreon right now, or $12 a year. I know that's there, but there's a reason why we did that cost. If somebody's willing to pay even $1 per month, if somebody's willing to pay to get into a group that they can do for free, then they kind of care about it. And that was just a filter of trying to have the right people in there to do this sort of stuff. There's plenty of tiny group pictures on the page. Of course, seems like a lot of people don't feel those are tiny groups, and they want to run their mouth about group sizes. So there's a bunch of tiny groups up on my page. There's some more coming up. There's some on Quantified Performance already. Realistically, if you're shooting sub-minute, you're pretty good. Just depending on, and I did a big thing on Patreon, so if you're on the Patreon, if you're in the higher tiers of Patreon, there's probably a 1,300 word post about that, about accuracy and precision and all that sort of stuff. Basically, bottom line, target size, target distance, shooter capability, and the inherent accuracy of your weapon system. So there's more to it than going, because people want to talk about. They just want to see these nice one shot groups. So there's guns for that. There's a price for that gun. There are a couple of prices for that gun. A lot of times they're a bolt gun, which is follow-up shots depending on the mission. You may not have to do follow-up shots, so a bolt gun is fine. You might need to do follow-up shots. There's a bunch of things that go into it. So like I have been saying for years, make your firearm match the chosen job of that firearm, or make your equipment match the mission, depending on how you want to look at it. If you're not military and you don't want to be doing missions, whatever you're doing with that gun, if you're wanting to go out and shoot the tiniest groups possible, then you don't need to have a bunch of this stuff. If you're shooting 2-minute targets out to distance and you can stay within 2 minutes, your gun is accurate enough. So I mean, there's things to that, and you can say whatever you want about that, but that is the truth. Let's see here, what else? CQB, don't throw a can on it, works great with that. Unfortunately, not enough people know that about the Knights stuff. So Knights armament, the gas system links and gas port sizes are based off dwell time and pressures that are needed to run that, based off of carrier velocity. We also set them up to run with the suppressor and not suppressor. So if you're running no suppressor, your pressure is going to be on the low side, maybe near short stroking, depending on what you have into it. You throw a law folder onto it with a little thing in there, there's a little bit there. You throw some other sorts of buffers in there, you're probably going to be on the low end of gas pressure without the suppressor. That's so you can put a suppressor on and not have to make changes to your gun. Also, if you're running extremely low pressure ammo, I don't have a DeFore hat because I was running a Knight's Ornament gun, and I was running very, very, very cheap ammunition because it was a last minute thing. Kyle texted me, he's like, hey, you want to come up to a class on Monday? And I had about 14 rounds. And so I grabbed some cheap stuff, and I shot the DeFore hat drill in 14.8 seconds with 4 malfunctions, and it was running like a bolt gun. So I was very close, but had I thrown a suppressor on there, had I been using 855, had I been doing a bunch of things, because I didn't account for that low pressure. So that can happen. I mean, that's how the guns are designed. They're tested, but they're firing in that low pressure area without suppression. So that's the thing you got to account for. The way most people figure it, if you're paying for a Knight's gun, you're going to be running high quality ammo, or at least moderately quality ammo. So that's generally not a problem. It's just when idiots like me go out and buy some Winchester white box and try to throw it in a Knight's Ornament gun, and it's basically shot smooth, shot great, it felt no recoil in it, but the gun was basically barely running, or not running at all. So that's just some things on that. If that guy's gun doesn't come up, let me know, and have him shoot me an email, and we'll talk about what he's got in the system. Like I say with this one, this has got the loft holder in it, so there's actually a little bit of added length and weight to the system by the little plug that goes in for the loft holder. So that's just a little bit. Right now I've got a carbine buffer in this one, and one of the wire springs. I forgot who made it, but it's the braided wire. 14.5 best accuracy. I had real good luck with the Atlanta Arms 75 grain out of that. Another buddy is running the 75 Hornady. Eric Luley, he's up here on the Instagram. He's had some really good luck with this 14.5. I think that's what he was running, was the 75 grain Hornady. That thing was shooting like right around a minute, and took it all the way out to 600 for it. So yeah, that might be probably too much buffer, man. If he's running an H3, that's probably too much. He can take some buffer off that. Tell him to throw a carbine buffer in it, see how it does, and just dive on it. Like I said, they're set up that way on purpose. That way you don't get gassed out. Trying to think what else is new and cool that was worth coming to Instagram Live for. Yeah, Quantified Performance, man. Check it. Once we get off here and you take back your Instagram, because I'm burning up all your time for the day. Once you get off here, do me a favor, go to like JAG Consulting, JAG Consulting. Go give them a like. Go give Quantified Performance a like or a follow, whatever social media system we're on here. The link to my Patreon, if you're wanting to get into that members group where we're posting up all the stuff, match performance groups, Manus X performance, shooting steel targets, anything that we can tell as a group can tell that you're shooting a gun and getting hits or scoring well, like on the Manus. Any of that stuff is good content. So if that's what you're into, that's what you like to do, there's that. I just did another. It ended up validating my stuff. I did a post that looked like this, and it got like 300 likes. And I did a post that had a Manus X and a score of 100 on it, which is rare. And that one got like 38 likes. So that's just, people don't care. So we're trying to build a group of people that do care. Tools that are needed to contribute to Quantified Performance. Man, if you got a blaster and you got things that you've shot, or videos that you've shot, or pictures that you've shot of actually shooting a blaster, then that's all you need to help out. So there's a couple apps that I use. I use Ballistic X to mark out the targets. There's one for iPhone called Sub MOA that isn't quite as good. It's the same as Range Buddy on Android, and that's what kind of shows the groups. We try to get people to use that because, you know, I can play with calipers and I can play with all sorts of things, and using the app puts everybody on a level playing ground, because I can take your picture, put it in there, and see if mine says the same thing. and that's just why we're trying to do that. The Manus is this thing. I'll pull it back up. It's this little doodad right here. Basically, it has all the accelerometers from like a cell phone in it, and it measures all the movement of the gun. So as you're aiming and you're doing whatever, and then it detects a shot and it records that. It's holding it all in RAM. You can actually watch real time. You can see all your movements real time with it, and basically what it's doing is it is tracking all that, and then when it detects a shot, it backtracks, I think 0.15 seconds, and then gives you 0.1 after the shot, and it gives you a score for all that movement. So even if you're not worried about score, if you're just looking for that movement, you can see what the firearm did, because it works on rifle, pistol, dry fire, live fire, CO2 guns. It works on all that, and you can see that movement in it. So if you know your movement, and then you shot live at a target, and you have the target where the bullets landed, and then you have all the movement of the gun, then you have a lot of data to go on there. It'll fit pretty much anywhere you have enough rail estate for it. This is the new one is about half the size of this, so I could probably, I don't think I'd be able to fit the new one in right here, but the basically that's the size of it right there. It's about 4 or 5 Picatinny slots long. Yeah, about that. So I haven't seen that X300 shell for it. The new one you're not even going to want to mess with that, man. But the new one's pretty tiny. It'd be kind of cool if they made one to fit in the shell. I haven't seen that though, so if you find a link for it, drop it in my comments so I can find it. What else? That's about it. People didn't like the driveway special. I don't know if you've seen that. Guy did an article on driveway special the other day. It wasn't a big hit. Everybody's kind of mad. So just to let you guys know, all 14 of us here, just to let you guys know, if it comes time to run to the end of the driveway, and you can do that with any gun that you have. Okay, I didn't mean to make it seem like you had to have a Knights, but so that was just for the hashtag, and apparently that caused problems. So you can run to the end of the driveway with whatever firearm you have, and I hope the best for you. If you don't have something to run to the end of the driveway with, though, I am a salesman for Knights Armament, so I suggest you hit me up and get a Knights Armament gun, because that's my job. You never see a Ford sales guy telling you to buy a Chevy, and if he does, he's probably not working for Ford very long. But if you're offended by that, I apologize, and you can share that to everybody else. All right, yeah, it's just amazing. I couldn't, when I did the video for it, I was laughing in the video, and all the videos for it, and we were laughing when we were laying out the parameters for the driveway special, and then I've been using it since like March, and suddenly it's hard. Brian, all the slots are filled right now for sales guys. So if you're trying to take my job, we're going to fight for it. So it may or may not be hard. Some of the other guys might be easier to whoop. I might be easier to whoop. I don't know, but we got to fight for them. There might be some limbs laying around. You never know. It depends on what you're looking for. It depends on what the boss wants to get rid of. We are still looking for a machinist. We're looking for machinists. I think we still got like a graphics job open. Last I saw, I haven't been on there in a couple days. We're always looking for stuff. The thing that I've seen on there since the day I started was somebody to run something that's called a Swiss screw machine. I don't do machining. Don't know what a Swiss screw machine is, but we can't find anybody to run it. And apparently we have one. So if you know what the hell I'm talking about right now, we got a job for you in lovely Florida. It's about 91 right here today. So if you know anybody that knows what that is, then hit them up. Tell them that there's a machine waiting for them to run. Multi-spindle small part making machine. All right, I'll take your word for it, Micah. And I'll log that into my thing, and I still don't know what the hell that is. when everybody says that LMT makes all our parts, I walk around the factory and I look at all these hundreds of machines that we have running around, and I don't know what any of that shit is, and I just go, make me good parts, and they make us good parts. So that's kind of where I am with the machinist side. Definitely not my thing. What's up, Mike? Yeah, so we're still looking for that. Yeah, like I say, the weather's great. 600,000 square foot facility, 300 employees. So it's a great company. Apparently, my sales stuff is not accepted by the internet, and it'll be fine. What's up, Matt? But that's pretty much all I jumped on here to say. Get out, get shooting. If you do get out and get shooting, take pictures of it. Hit up on Quantify Performance again, since we got some more people up on here. Once I get off here, go like JAG Consulting, JAG Consulting, Quantify Performance. Then that's about it. Appreciate you guys stopping in. Don't want to take up your whole day rambling, and be looking for that sort of stuff. All right, everybody. Appreciate you.